Hi viewers, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to discuss what are loops in PHP and what are logical operators. The part of logical operators we already left in our last video, last to last video, but we are going to cover this in this video with if statement or conditional statement and with loops as well. So what are logical operators? Let me open the code. Logical.php, it's our file. PHP starting ending tag, and let's take a variable called 10. Let's take another variable called 20. Okay, let's take another variable also, make it as 30. Or now if a greater than 20, a greater than 20, make it as a b. That would be better. Okay, and put b here, and else what will happen? If a greater than b, then this block will execute, else this block will be executed, and we will get the $a is smaller than b. Okay, it's a simple conditional statement, but I'm just trying to make connect with the last video. Here you can see 10 is smaller than 20. Okay, so what are it's example of a simple comparison operator. But what if we want to make another condition, okay, and we need to evaluate a result with the basis of two condition, where a is greater than b, and we need to check that a should also need to greater than c. How we can do that? Like how we can add two condition in a single if block? We can do this, and $a greater than $c. For better readability, we can also put each condition in a separate bracket. Okay, so what we are checking here? We are checking a greater than b, and these two ampersand end sign showing as a end, and a greater than c. If this block and this block will give you true, both block will give you true, then only this block going to execute it, else this will be executed. So what are others? Both block should return true. Okay, this is a or case. Any one of the block should return true. Okay, make it as a comment, else it will give error. Okay, alternatively we can also write it as a text like this. And for this we can write it as or. Which is very easy to understand because it's a normal English, and from the word you can understand very easily what does it exactly mean. So we can put here, and also we'll do the same work. Okay, let's see the output. 10 is smaller than b. We want to make some changes. 10 is the smallest than b. Okay, because we are checking both condition. This should be true and this should be true, then the if block will get executed, else the else block will get executed. So how we can see the example of or case here? Make it as a or. Okay, and make any one block as a less than c. Okay, so here a greater than b, it will become false, and a less than c will become true. And for the definition, if any one of the block will give return true, so the whole block get executed. Now we will see the output will be this. Show you the output. Here you can see 10 is greater than 20. Okay, so there could be multiple options, there could be multiple options, multiple, or there could be multiple conditions you can put in if condition. Okay, and if we join all the condition with or, so any one of the condition will evaluate true, the whole block will get executed. And if we are applying the AND here, means all the condition should evaluate to true. In that case only the if block will get executed. Okay, so what will be the next? So next in this video we need to check what are loops in PHP. I'll give you with the code, because explaining you about the definition, maybe some technical words will also include there, maybe that make you disturb, or what happen when, what is the need of loops. See, there is some requirement, there is some specific output of some simple line of code, and we want to run it with multiple time. So the first approach is that we need to echo it every time. For example, there is a name let's check. He's a good boy. Okay, and I want to print this line 3 7 times. For so for every time I print by echo. This is the one condition. Now the number is small, so we done it by a manual way. But think maybe the requirement would be like we need to write this line by 1,000 times, 10,000 times, 1 lakh times. Then how we will do this? Like we need to copy every time, paste and paste and paste. So which is not the correct way and not the correct approach, and also not a good coding standard. How we can achieve that? So in that scenario we can use the loops. How we can achieve the same thing with the loop? We will put this in the loop and we will start or initialize from where, like we will initialize that from 0 and will execute that loop to up to 7 times, because we need the output to 7 times, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, for every loop there is some specific steps. You can say the steps or you can say the condition. Every loop need to be initialized, every loop need to be set as a condition. The loop will be run until that condition is met. Once that condition is met, the code will be exit from that block of that loop. So the first loop is here. We have a let me tell you about the what are the types of loop here. We have the types of loop like while, do while, for each. Okay, so for just let's just start it with the while loop. What is the syntax of while loop? Let's take any variable and just initialize with 0 or any name, or sorry, any number from where you want to initialize it. I have just taken a 0. Then there is a while loop. It will have a body. Okay, and in this while loop there would be a condition. Until the condition is met, the execution of while loop will be continue. Once the condition is met, the execution will be exit or complete or end of the while loop. So what we want, I is start with 0 and I should less than 7, because if it is start to 0 then it will print 6 line from 0 to 6, so it should less than 7. Here we will take the line like this. Okay, and we need to increment the I as well. Okay, so for the some difference, I'm just adding 1 here, so you will see the different output. Let me just run it. Okay, all outputs coming in a single line. Let me add a BR tag for better readability. Now run the program. Here you can see he is a good boy. 7 times this line is get executed, and the same thing we have achieved with single line of code. So this is the beauty of loop. I have given you just a demonstration. It is a very simple use case for a loop. We can do multiple of things with the help of loop. We can generate the HTML with the help of loop. We can generate the logic or anything. When we will once we will cover the functions, then we will see how we can create the prime numbers, sum, or odd, even odd numbers. So we will do multiple kind of mathematical problems with the help of these loops. So this is one of the example I'm giving here. Okay, and you can see the one more thing, like for every line we need to add a br tag for better readability, but here we just add only a single time. The same output can we achieve if we comment it. Okay, and just remove the one also, we can see the output would be as same as it was earlier. Okay, so whenever some line of code which we want that should be written in a repeated way, then we put that into the block of loop. Same thing we can achieve with the do while loop. What is the syntax of do while loop? Here we will initialize. Like above $I is equal to 0. Okay, in while we need to put the condition, the same condition we can take here. And here we can use this. Okay, I is started to 0, it will take execute this one, then it will check the condition I less than 7. Okay, for make a difference I'm just adding here 2, so you can see that both output are different. Here you can see the same thing we can achieve with the do while loop. So the question is here, if both the loop giving you the same output, so what's the need of making an extra loop? Like if both are the same, then why the need of do while loop if we can do all the work with the while loop? Very good question. It can be asked multiple time in the interviews, like what is the difference between do or do while loop and while loop, or maybe you need to elaborate the difference between the all the loops. As we have only covered while and do while loop, so I'll just give an answer for these two. Okay, here you can see when we initialize our variable with 0, the second step in while loop, it will check the condition first, then it's allow to enter into the execution code where the code will be executed here. If it is failed here, this code block will not get executed. Want to see it? Let me check. Make it as a 10. Okay, so what will happen? This code will not get executed. Here you can see this line not get executed because in while loop, in the second step, it evaluate the condition I is 10, and here it is asking for I should be less than 7 while I is 10. So while loop will not get executed. This sentence, we do the same thing here. We will put as a 10, but it will execute for at least one time. Why? Because in do while loop, when we initialize any variable, so do print that, execute that block of code before checking the condition. So first time it will print this line, okay, then it will get check this condition, and when it is found that condition is got failed, so for the next time it will not get execute, but for at least one time the do while loop will get executed. So this is the main difference between while and do while loop. Let me show you with the code. Here you can see he is a good boy, and this is the output is coming from the another code block. Here it is coming from here. Let me comment it as well. Now you will see only the one output that is coming. He is a good boy too. From where it is coming? It is coming from this block. So this is the main difference between while and do while. Please do remember, it's a very important concept and mostly asked by the interviewers. So that's it for this video. In the next video we are going to we will explain you about the for loop and for each loop, and we will also discuss about the concept like continue, break, go to. So thanks for watching this video. Please like, share and support.